Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 293. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
And what's going on?
Not much. You sound pretty subdued, Larry. What's going on?
So
You got mellow voice going.
No, I kind
Still
of
exhausted.
It's my NPR voice. No, it's it's a little
As if you've
carryover.
ever listened to NPR.
No, well, if I need to go to sleep right away, absolutely. You would think I would listen to NPR though, because I like listening to podcasts and I love talk radio. But NPR, I've never listened to. But I'm trying not to overbear because right now I'm not home, obviously, and it's kind of a wide open area, so we got the echo. And when I listened back to last week's episode from the Retro Gaming Expo, which again we want to thank Joel and everyone who set up the expo, Cradle of Aviation for hosting it. It was a magical weekend. It truly, truly was. People still talking about it, but
that's awesome.
Because of the cavalcade of errors with all my equipment from that weekend, I had to end up using like the mic on my headset, and when I listened back to the episode, because I'm naturally loud. I know that. I've been yelled at.
Oh, yes, you are.
I've been yelled at in school for people hearing me like 3 doors down. There you go. Speaking of being naturally loud.
He's not naturally loud.
That cat dead? Good Lord.
He's naturally big.
He is a chubster.
You a chubster? What did the vet tell you? Vet told you to lose weight, right?
Oh boy. Adorable. So I know I'm naturally loud, but also it was a little overbearing. You can hear it in the mic. We had to play around with the audio. So I'm trying not to yell. I'm just trying not to be me. I'm trying not to be loud in this environment.
If it makes you feel any better, I did my best to edit down your volume last week.
And that was after I edited down the volume.
Yeah. And that was a losing battle.
It was. I agree. I wasn't because I wasn't. What is what it is. But nevertheless,
it's all good. Look, every show has its tech issues. Again, when we're doing something on the road, so to speak, there are always going to be those challenges. So it happens. You know what? I still think it was a great episode.
Totally.
I'm really sorry I could not come to the expo because it looked great.
It ended up being great.
Yeah. Based on all the footage, that you took and. It looked like a great time, and seeing Charlie and Jack and Frank and everybody, I'm sure was a lot of fun. And I know your parents went too, right?
They did, yes. It was great. I was trying to tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, there's an aviation museum. Check it out. And he just wanted nothing to do with the aviation part. He was totally enthralled, legitimately loved seeing the expo itself. And he had, self-admittedly, he had no clue what was going on, but he just enjoyed seeing that atmosphere. And it was a very fun, very nice atmosphere. So
that's awesome.
I was shocked.
Right, well, good.
I thought he was going to go around and start punching nerds.
I don't think I think your dad has reached a Zen part of life where that's just not a factor anymore.
I guess it depends on what day of the week it is.
Think about it this way. You taught him to be tolerant of nerds.
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm sure. I got him into wrestling. I'll get him to video games. So, but yeah, so bottom line, we're here. I'm not home yet, but we're here and we got a good show for you lined up. And, I don't know where we're going to start first. I think we're going to start with the big kind of the lineup news that we were talking about.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, that's the biggest retro news to come out this week. So yeah, we have,
and yes, we've talked about it a lot in the past. This is kind of like the final, because now we have everything together. Basically, it's the Genesis Mini 2. They've put out their full final lineup for the North American release, which is still for some strange reason being sold and shipping from Japan. I still don't understand the reasoning for that, but they're doing it. So
I'm assuming they just don't have a distributor in the US.
I guess not, but
that's my guess.
I guess not. I mean, so that's the only annoying thing. On Amazon, it's down to $100, which sounds normal. Still got the $22 in shipping, but is what it is. And now, of course, you can go through. You can look up online the list. There's 60 games. Well,
Wow.
Yes,
60 plus one,
which took me a little while to figure out what that meant.
Wait, well, it means 61.
It does, but it kind of means 60 plus one. So here's what I mean. So here's the lineup right now. This is from the official Sega website, and we're not going to go through the whole thing. Like I said, you can find the list online. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously you can see. We're going to scroll through here, but we're going to basically point out the heavy hitters because a lot of these games, when they were released on the video reveal that Sega had, I'm actually shocked at a lot of these games. Not in a way like I can't believe they're doing it, just like, oh, I didn't think they would do it.
Got it. Yeah, no, and it makes sense because again, some of them were heavy hitters, but how else, are you gonna re-release them? It's not like you're re-releasing them in solo titles. So I mean, this is just a really good collection. And on top of that, what could you do to make the Genesis Mini 2 like an equivalent to the first one? Because the first one had some really heavy hitters on it. So it's like, so they had to pull out, I think, all the stops. And obviously the biggest one I think they did was pulling the Sega CD library and putting those games on here. I mean, because I'm sorry, just knowing that you can have Sonic CD and Shining Force CD in a collection, to me, that's like an instant sell for me personally, because those two games are amazing.
Totally, absolutely. Yes, I believe there's 12 Sega CD games on the North American collection. Again, we're talking North American. On the YouTube video, I stopped off at Final Fight CD. This is a game that is hard to find the original copy, and if you do, good luck, trying to buy it. And that's what's really interesting. This lineup, if there's a lot of games on here that's a pretty penny to buy individually, not just like one or two gems. There's a few of them on here, and this is one of them. Final Fight CD, it was one of the first home versions to really allow all three characters in the game, because Cody, Guy, and Hagar, all three of them in the game. Final Fight CD is the music is beyond amazing in this version. So that's the first one that caught my eye. As far as a big,
and just to touch on what you were saying about these games being like some of these games being very rare and hard to find, all the more reason to release them on a collection, because games are meant to be played, and your average gamer is not going to run out and spend a few $100 on a game and a retro console just to play something like that. So just giving somebody the ability to play this game as opposed to letting it just sit out there in the ether is just, I mean, it's just the way to go. It's just the right way to do it.
Which is something I'm going to mention in a little while. I stopped off here on Night Trap. This game, I said before, I wasn't like, my shock value wasn't, oh my gosh, I can't believe they put it on there. I think this one, I can't believe they put it on there because of the backlash that it originally got. I mean, it's 2022. It's hokey. It's campy at this point.
Yeah.
But, and plus, I'm sure the estate of Dana Plato has got to be asking for a few shells, right? I mean, there's got to be something there.
I'm also sure like the reason why they've been re-releasing this like crazy is because they probably all of the actors probably just like signed over the rights to it. Like they got paid, they moved on. Some of them moved on to another plane.
What are you talking about?
Hey, he moved on to another plane too. But I just think in terms of violent, it's, again, to your point, it's 2022. I mean, if you're going to release stuff like Mortal Kombat and things like that, games that have, I mean, Call of Duty is more violent than Night Trap. So I don't think there's any risk to releasing it on a collection.
No, like I said, it's more campy than anything nowadays. But it's cool to see. I wasn't expecting it at all, though. So it was cool to see that.
Yeah, it was a welcome surprise. I mean, and I'll add, this will be like my third or fourth copy of Night Trap, because I actually got the one from Limited Run Games.
Funny enough,
whose spoiler alert's going to be in the news, the retro news later.
Good. We'll talk about them later because I actually had a slight conversation today at the deli about limited run. So in any event, another game I stopped on here. I'm the one obviously now controlling the thing.
Yes, you are.
I never can pronounce this. Robo Aliste.
Robo Aleste?
Sure. Sega CD game. Now, here's why I'm very upset with this collection. Because this game can go for a few $100s. I bought it not that long ago for maybe a larger amount of money than I normally would buy for a game. So,
and you did that why?
Because the game's I love the game's awesome. It's a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, and it's worth the money.
Explain. Is it a shoot 'em up? Is it a side scroller?
It's kind of like a hybrid almost, I would say, of both.
Because I don't know this game.
The fact that just wasn't that long ago I bought it, and now here it is on this collection. Like the amount of money I could have saved on if I just would have waited for this collection.
Yeah.
Would have been tremendous. So up next, Sewer Shark. I mean, you have to have Sewer Shark in here.
Yeah, I mean, Sewer Shark was the pack-in game for the Sega CD.
Yeah, one of, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that. It's like, four. What was it like?
6,
8, 6, 3, niner,
yeah. Shooting all the rats.
Shooting all the rats, and then making the wrong turn and crashing into a wall.
Yes. Sylpheed. So moving forward, knowing what game.
By the way, you just scrolled right by.
No, I know. Yeah.
No, I know. Just Sonic CD, arguably the best Sonic game made. I mean, you can make a really good case for that one.
No, and it's funny with the release of Sonic Origins. That game really is in the eye now of everybody. Now we're in the Genesis section. We got Atomic Runner, again, just name a few of them. Bonanza Brothers, Clay Fighters. I
remember Clay Fighter. I rented that game and I just struggled to play it.
I remember Clay Fighter. Wasn't that crazy about Clay Fighter? Here's one I was shocked when I saw this one.
Yeah, I saw this one too, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna buy one for your dad now."
Desert Strike: Return to the Gulf.
I know how much your dad loves this game.
He loves it so much. I already got it for him on the Super Nintendo, so I'm sure he's been playing it. But that was cool. When I saw that, I was like, "All right, cool. They're really digging in."
And again, if you take the other thing about the Genesis Minis that Nintendo kind of did not do as much, they had no problem reaching out to third parties to put,
at all
to put games on this, because Desert Strike is Electronic Arts, Data East is Atomic Runner, they, which and I absolutely love the fact that they did that as opposed to trying to figure out what are our first party games, because they didn't have a lot of first party games.
No, not too many. Hellfire is another one. The company Renovations has a lot of shoot 'em ups on this collection.
Didn't you just buy that game, Herzog?
No, that one.
We talked about that one.
Hellfire. Recently. It was Hellfire I bought. In fact, it was the Toplin collection, which was a 4-pack of physical Genesis cartridges. Which is going to lead me as I continue to go. Midnight Resistance is a great game.
I've never played that one. See, and that's the other thing too. Like this collection has a lot of games that I've either never played, but I wanted to, or games that I haven't heard of that I'm interested in playing.
And that's the thing. That's my issue. So now, yes, I might have a what's what I'm looking for? A history or a stigma or a populace or a reputation is what I'm trying to say of something new's coming out, take all my money.
Yep, you're buying it. You are the Fry meme. You are the human version of the Fry meme from Futurama.
Oh my god, if I can only wake up in the
my money.
I don't know what you said, but I'm in. But and don't get me wrong, remember folks, I pre-ordered the Japanese version when it was first announced. I remember. So I since canceled that one and I pre-ordered this North American one. But I have it on pre-order, but as I go through and as I'm going through the list here, I gotta say, I don't know if I'm ultimately going to get this because, Ant, to your point, you said there's a lot of games on here. Shadow Dancer. It always reminds me of like a Wham
what is
song
it?
or something.
The Secret of Shinobi.
It is Secret of Shinobi, yeah.
Mhm.
Like to your point, you said there's a lot of games on here that you've never played before.
Okay, can you stop for a moment on Shining Force 2? I just want to point something out really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Shining Force 2, fantastic game. How scary though is that guy's face? Like,
You know,
look at I know. Take a moment to look at it. He reminds me of Sloth from the Goonies.
Let's just zoom in. No, you know what? You know what it looks like?
You guys.
Forget that. Sloth was nice. It looks like Vigo from Ghostbusters
Oh,
2
he could be Vigo
at
too.
the end when they're sliming him.
Vigo and Sloth hooked up and had a kid, and that kid is on the cover of Shining Force 2. He's Vigo.
Why is my drippings with goo?
Seriously,
but no, that is like after you got slime, you got the horns and everything. Yes. Yeah, no, that's creepy.
Absolutely frightening. Amazing game, of course.
Baby
Shining
Oscar.
Force 2, I love.
Good Lord. No, Shining Force 2 was amazing. Then, of course, Shining in the Darkness, Dungeon Crawler. Very Disney-like at this point. Cover
yeah, the very first Shining game, looked very Disney-like, and then then just took off from there.
So again, to your point, saying you never played a lot of these games. As I scroll through this, I own a lot of these games already, and that's my dilemma. Like,
big fan of the Splatterhouse series too. So I'm very happy to see number 2 on here.
Splatterhouse, awesome. Streets of Rage 3. Yep. So that's my I did the I went through the list, and if my list is correct, Street Fighter 2, of course, you got to have it. If my list is correct, out of these 60 plus 1 games, I think I own like 20 of them. So I own like half the list. And
wow, that would be a third.
And
Math.
So
math is hard.
At this point, between physical copies, having the games already, whether original or reprints, the Evercade Versus is certainly helping out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Truxton. Here we go. Truxton and Hellfire were 2 of the 4 games of that Toplin collection that I talked about. So at this point, I mean, I don't know if there's enough games that I don't own, and we're actually going to get to the bonus games here in a moment, and those I want to focus on. I don't know if there's enough here for me now to warrant the actual purchasing of this if I own, again, like majority of these games.
Well, Larry, do you want me to help you out and like break it down? I'll break it down mathematically for you, since you think half of 60 is 20.
Hence the joke.
I know. If it's 60 plus 1, let's put the 1 aside. There's 60 games on here. You own 20 of them. That means there are 40 games on here you do not own. The 40 games, even if you're paying $100, right? It's only $2.50 per game. Based on the 40 games that you're going to add to your collection, do you think they're each worth $2.50 to you?
See, and
that's the question you should answer.
Which I thought about, but then like I said, there's a game on here that I paid 3 digits for.
Probably more than the whole mini. Yes.
Oh God, yes. More than double what the mini is.
Well, you can also do the Larry special. You can go trade it in, get most of your money back, and then just buy the mini.
I've done that. Yeah, that is true. I could do that as well. I may or may not be regretting that with the turtles, but that's for another time.
Or you can eBay it.
I can whatnot it.
You can whatnot it. You can do a whatnot auction.
I'm not sitting through a tutorial. So
it was only 45 minutes.
Oh, that it? All right.
So super short.
Let's get to this. This is the beginning of the bonus. So real quick to wrap that part up. I'm honestly debating. I have it on pre-order, but I just, because the games that I don't own, there's probably a reason for that. And a lot of the games on here I do own, like, again, they're reproductions, like Elemental Master, and I think there was another one on there I forgot. So I don't know. I gotta weigh my options, but folks, this may not be a slam dunk for me. Not because the lineup is perfect. Will it beat the TurboGrafx 16 Mini? I don't know. I gotta sit down and think about it on my end. But let's talk about these, because this is the start of the bonus games.
Yep.
So Fantasy Zone, for Genesis, specifically for Genesis. The game was never released on the Genesis home console. This game was specifically made from the ground up for the Mini.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
So we got a brand new game. I go, that's appealing in and of itself.
Yep. We talked about this last time, Star Mobile, which is mobile. Star Mobile. Yeah.
Mobile. Are you British? Catch
Southern.
me on my mobile.
A mobile home. Some weird game. I guess it's like the laws of justice or something. You got to weigh. It's a puzzle game. But interesting. Very interesting.
I'm always in for puzzle games, you know that.
Spatter, which is an interesting game. I don't think it ever was finished, so they finally put the finishing touches on it. It's just a game you go around, you collecting. It's like a maze type game where you go around collecting flowers and trying to stay away from all the other evil critters driving various scooters and whatnots.
Sounds like fun.
Yep. Super Locomotive. I'm very interested in this.
I love trains. Trains are fun.
It's the weirdest thing. Like one of the funnest games I've downloaded was
funnest.
Yes, was of course now I forgot the name of it. Train Time. It was I can't remember now. Wow. We're live, pal. It's a game. It was an arcade game. So it was one of like the arcade games you download on the Switch, and it's just it's a locomotive game. You have to find three. The first level, you find the three cabooses. Then the next level, you pick up your riders, and then the third level, you drop off the riders. Very addicting. Didn't know I was going to do that. Super Locomotive is like two games in one at the same time.
Oh, wow.
On the top screen, you're traveling, you make sure you stay on the tracks. And at the same time on the bottom, you're battling like evil trains. It's very, very odd. Very odd.
I like that. I like it's like too. Thomas the Tank Engine gone horror.
Basically, and we've seen that kind of.
We've seen that in Resident Evil. Yes.
Devil and Pie. It's just it's a weird version of Breakout almost.
Is it Devil or is it Debbie?
Oh, I'm sorry, Debbie. I apologize.
Or
Debbie.
It looks like Debbie.
Is it Debbie and P?
What is that?
I know.
Is that
so? That's a paddle.
That looks like the L for devil that got pulled off, and it's
that's a paddle. That's a paddle. We're gonna say that. We're gonna say it's sweat because it's in hell.
Yep. Okay. Who designed this cover and who designed this cover and got away with it, by the way?
Clearly was a 90 Disney's animator.
Absolutely.
So this plays kind of like Breakout, just to give you an idea. Beyond that, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Let's move on, please.
Versus Puyo Puyo Sun.
Ooh, I'm excited to have this in my collection.
Yeah, Puyo Puyo is a fun game. It's a fun puzzle game. And this is like the first time on a Genesis there's a 2-player option. So that's the big thing there. And then Space Harrier 2. So Space Harrier 2, big time.
Skin tight costume.
Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing to the imagination there.
He also looks like a Ken doll.
So with this game, what's really cool is they jammed what at the time they couldn't do on a Genesis. They finally was able to do on a Genesis and jammed it into the Mini. So Space Harrier 2 is that, the kind of like that forward moving kind of 3D-esque aspect shoot 'em up. Here's where the +1 comes in. Yes. Apparently, there's a jacked up version of Space Harrier in this version of Space Harrier 2.
Yes.
Thus, I believe, the +1.
Right. So you're essentially getting an extra game in
kind of sort of. Yes. Yeah. And that's it.
Well, that's it. That's plenty. That is a very impressive lineup. I mean, like I said, you didn't think they could do like a lineup. I honestly didn't think they'd be able to come up with a lineup that could compete with the original Genesis Mini, which you can see over my shoulder there.
Yep, there it is.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the Sega CD portion of it definitely put it over the hump. But then on top of that, just pulling what they did for the Sega Genesis, like there are so many games on here, like I said, I've never played, and so many games, a handful of them I've never heard of. So I'm very, very intrigued by it. And there's definitely no question about it that I've got my pre-order in. I'm pulling a Larry, and
Well, no,
I got
you
my
waited.
pre-order in, and what?
You waited.
No. I did wait. I will. Yes, that's true. I will admit. I put my pre-order in after the full list of games was announced. And when I saw the full list of games a few days ago, I was like, okay, now I'll buy it.
So, and I have it on pre-order, but I'm still debating. I'll see what happens. So we all know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we all know what's going to happen. You're going to get it. And
Absolutely.
Then, yep. Well, for me, it'll be a birthday gift to me.
That it will be.
It's coming out around my birthday, so I'm very happy about that.
There you go. Well, hopefully you get a gift card to apply towards it.
There you go. That would be nice. Hint, nudge, nudge, right?
So, folks, chime in on our YouTube page, on our social media, email us, for crying out loud. Let us know, like, what is the selling point of the Genesis Mini 2? At this point, maybe there's something on there that no longer interests you on the Genesis Mini 2. Shout out, please. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. We are all over the place, both physically. I was at an expo. You're in California. I'm on Long Island, but we're also all over the place online.
Yeah, we're all over the place online. We're all over the place physically, mentally, emotionally, metaphorically, existentially. But if you want to hear or listen, if you want to hear or watch us, you can check us out on Facebook.com/Retro Gamers Podcast, on Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast, on Twitter at Retro Gamers Pod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are literally everywhere. And you can watch us on YouTube. You can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. And as always, we're here we're here because of you guys, the people who listen to us, the people who watch us. So we'd really appreciate it. Wherever you listen or watch, leave those 5-star reviews. Let us know what you love about the show. We're happy to take suggestions for the show. A few weeks ago we covered Super Mario RPG based on a fan request. So we're always here to listen, and we're thankful for everybody who watches and listens to us, and we hope you continue to do so.
All right, so let's get into it. I think we got some news to talk about this week. Why not? In our news segment,
bunch of news, and I apologize in advance if I happen to sneeze through it, but my allergies are just doing something really weird today.
You acting up?
Yeah. Well, no, but I don't know why. It's like maybe I've been outdoors. I think I went outside more than 30 seconds today, which is more than my norms. So that might be part of the problem.
You don't have a bubble at this point?
No, well,
like Bubble Boy.
My apartment is my bubble because I never open the windows. So, like, I'm literally like this could, like, if it was air sealed, like, this could double for a space station.
or catacombs. Depends on.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Don't try and Dana Plato me. I'm still breathing.
Oh, boo! Boy,
man,
Dana Plato. You're on. I like it. I am
terrible today. I am sorry, people, but not really. All right, getting out to the retro news this week. This was one actually that I think this was announced at the end of July, but we might have missed it because the Retro Expo and things were a bit nutty for August.
Nutty.
But this is something that you would be interested in. But
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, it was announced that the Retro Shoot 'em Up Collection Ray's Arcade Chronology was announced for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. Ooh. I don't know if you know these games, but Taito created them. It was the Ray trilogy: Ray Force, Ray Storm, and Ray Crisis.
Okay, I know Ray Storm. Okay.
Yeah. So Ray Storm was the second one of the series. So there was Ray Force, Ray Storm, Ray Crisis. And they're coming out coming out with a collection. They're coming out with a collection for the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. It's going to include 5 games. There's Ray Force, Ray Storm, Ray Crisis HD, and Ray Storm Neo HD. So really cool. These games came out in from 1994 to 1998. And again, they're pretty well known shoot 'em ups. I'm actually surprised you didn't know about them because you're a big shoot 'em up guy.
No, Raystorm. I have Raystorm on PlayStation.
Raystorm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was unfamiliar with the other ones, but to be honest, but Raystorm, again, that one was one of my early bigger purchases and it's a PlayStation game. Amazing PlayStation game. And of course, it was after I made my purchase, found out I could have spent a little lesser money on Raystorm HD on the 360. But be that as it may, no, Raystorm is fantastic. No, this collection, I'm game. Yeah.
So I'm just flipping through it really quickly to show you the
games
and screens for it. There's also a special limited edition. I'm getting this off of Retro Dodo. There's a collector's edition that you can get, which includes a flyer, 2 posters, 6 arcade stickers, a live concert Blu-ray, a live concert album, a strategy guide, and material collection.
Who's doing live concerts for Raystorm? Okay.
I have no idea. But again, this is going to be limited to just 2,500 Switch copies and 1,500 PlayStation 4.
Yeah, they use collectors. So this looks strictly limited. All right, I see. I was going to say it sounds like something strictly limited would do.
Yeah, strictly limited is doing the collector's edition. So you also get pixel frame artwork.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And really strictly limited, I love strictly limited. I've ordered from a few times, and they're great. They're overseas, but they're worth it. So all right.
So maybe something to add to your
absolutely
to your shopping list.
Makes you want to play Raystorm now.
Yep, there you go. All right, that's our first bit of retro news. Second bit of retro news. This one was interesting. So apparently, way back in 1992, right when we had the Super Famicom, right?
Yep.
Way back there was this game called Rendering Ranger R2.
Yes. Okay.
Incredibly rare Super Famicom game, only released on the Super Famicom, which means it was never released for the Super Nintendo, never came out of Japan.
Only in Japan.
Until now. They are really 27 years later, we are getting Rendering Ranger R2 on the Super Nintendo. It's actually a Super Nintendo cartridge. So this is being brought to us by Ziggurat Interactive. They've teamed up with Limited Run Games, so this will be
okay.
Yes, you can purchase. I thought you liked them again.
Yes, I mean, awesome. Go for it.
Yes. So remember, I told you earlier that Limited Run was going to be in the news.
So you did. And real quick to tell my story, this morning before we recorded, when I went for breakfast at a local deli here, I'm wearing, where are we with the camera? So I got the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo t-shirt that looks tighter than it should be. So, I'm wearing that and walked in, and the guy behind the counter was like, when was that? I'm like, last week. So we talked a little bit about gaming, and he didn't get deep dive into it. He was like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and that company, Limited Run, man, they're rough. They're tough to deal with. And I'm like, they are, but they can see the light side of the moon, and when they recognize that they're wrong, they recognize that they're wrong. And then you can work with them, and it's a whole peaceful bliss.
Yes, it is a peaceful bliss, especially when they never recognized they were wrong because they didn't do anything wrong and you just got shafted.
I fixed the problem because now all their pre-orders
from them,
all their pre-orders are open-ended now. There's no we have 12 copies and that's all we're allotted.
Well, I think what they did they readjusted their system based on demand. Wasn't necessarily for the very one unhappy boy in Long Island who did not get his nitro.
No, I had it, but someone stole it from me. Be that as it was probably you.
It probably was me because we ordered it at the same time. So,
what's up, Stella? You want to say hi?
You're welcome. Hi? Oh, we got a dog this week.
That's who I'm watching.
Hi, Stella.
That's who I'm watching. All right,
Stella.
Yeah, basically. Can you hear me yell? You're putting me. No! Wait, you're on my wire.
It was like we talked 200 episodes ago about you singing on this podcast.
Stella, that's a Simpsons reference. Rendering Ranger R2.
That is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up.
I gotta double check.
I would think you would pre-order this one.
No, here's the thing. I believe it's also coming out digitally, and lately I have been thinking about my wallet. So,
well, your wallet and your space.
That too. The one Super Nintendo game is not going to make or break anything. And I am aware of
Well,
the
but we also
size
had
between a Super Nintendo and a Switch game.
no. We had a conversation about how you were selling back, like Game Boy games or Switch games that are this big. So because they didn't fit in the casings
They
that you
didn't.
bought or whatever,
They
and because
didn't.
of that, you had to sacrifice them to the gods,
The
to
physical
the
copy,
trading
but I have the
gods.
digital copies.
I know, but still, you make no sense. All right. Anyway, so
I don't have
Rendering
this on order yet.
Ranger R2 coming out on the Super Nintendo for the first time in 27 years. Check out Limited Run Games if you're interested in that.
Their special edition's pretty sweet.
Yes.
For this.
Couple of Nintendo bits of news.
Okay.
One funny, one really not so funny. So I'm going to start with the not so funny one.
Okay.
But we've actually talked about how last year Activation Blizzard were not under the gun, but they were under investigation for accusations of sexual harassment in the workplace, and it was actually pretty severe to the point where people just did not want to work there, and they were protesting and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
On a sad bit of news, it has now been announced that Nintendo of America is dealing with sexual harassment and discrimination allegations, to the point where Nintendo of America president Doug Bowser has responded to the report. They're under active investigation to figure out what's going on, and this is specifically coming from a company that they've worked with called Aerotech, who were employed as contractors at Nintendo of America, and they have at least like 10 sources reporting over the last decade about frat house like atmosphere, sexual harassment, discrimination. So this is a pretty severe story that's breaking, and we'll keep an eye on it, but doesn't sound good.
And nothing ever sounds good, but we also have to flesh out what's true, what's not true. I mean, frat house shenanigans, what I'm thinking about is frat house shenanigans. It's, obviously innocent until proven guilty.
It's right, but it's the idea of having an unprofessional work environment. And there was an issue like last year about the whole either earlier this year or last year, where there was the red badge, blue badge situation.
Yeah, that's right.
Where they talked about how like full-time employees were red badges and they got access to things that blue badges did not. So
it's company.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying, but people were complaining like the treatment that people with blue badges would get. So again, and now this report comes out. So there's some stuff going on at Nintendo that they're investigating. Hopefully everything gets figured out and fixed if it needs to be fixed. But we'll keep an eye on that news.
Let the truth rise to the top.
Yep. And now to get a little bit to switch from something serious to something I found really hysterical. So next year will be the 30th anniversary of the absolutely dreadful Super Mario Brothers movie starring Bob Hoskins and John Wick.
Wow, 30 years. Good
30
Lord.
Years.
Yeah,
and we're also getting conveniently enough, now that they pushed it back, we're getting the Super Mario Brothers animated movie in 2023. So
that's good timing.
Right. So 30 years after the much reviled one came out, we're getting a new one. Fingers crossed it'll be great. But so, and the reason why I bring this up is because somebody unearthed a interview with Bob Hoskins talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie, back in the 90s. Obviously, he passed away some time ago.
Hated working on that movie. He says it's the worst movie he ever worked on.
Yeah, he said it was the worst. He said it was the worst movie of all that he ever worked on. Yeah. But in this interview, he actually admitted that he didn't know Super Mario Brothers was a game.
That doesn't shock me, in all honesty.
Well, it shocks me because I would think an actor of his level would have done research, because that's what actors do. Actors research the character and the part. And so I would have thought somebody would have broken it to him. Hey, this is based off of a video game character. So at least he would go and maybe do a little bit of research. Granted, you're not going to get a lot of research on it, but there was a Saturday morning show There was,
yeah.
you know what I mean? There was a Saturday morning show. At that point, by the time the movie came out, you had Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and Super Mario World. Maybe not Mario World when they were filming or close at the same time. But the point is, there was research that could be done. But the fact, I just found it really funny that he came out in this interview and said that he had no idea while filming that this was a video game.
Well, if you notice, all of his dialogue about plumbing and work about plumbing was spot on. So maybe he did the completely wrong research.
Yeah, maybe he just researched about plumbing. Like he's like, what? I'm a plumber that falls into a sewer, and there's this weird Dennis Hopper guy.
And my Italian brother was played by John Leguizamo. Wait a minute, what?
Exactly. Hey, that could work.
What I love, I love this movie. Yes, it's terrible, but God help me, I love it.
It's terrible, and God help me, I hate it.
Oh no, see, this is too bad to be good. And RiffTrax, go to rifftrax.com and you can download, trust me, it's worth the price. You can download the full movie, Super Mario Brothers, with the RiffTrax riffs on it, and it's one of the best ones.
Oh, that's awesome.
Actually, that and The Wizard is another good one that they did. I
love The Wizard.
And I remember when this movie came out, I was so stoked about. I went to the movie theater.
You were a kid.
I was, and I remember the opening. I'm like, that's Mario Paint. That looks like Mario Paint. I'm like, this is getting a little weird now. Okay, why are those Goombas so big? But no, it's not. It kind of reminds me real quick. Bob Hoskins saying he didn't know this was a movie, where they interviewed oh God, who directed Tim Burton. They interviewed Tim Burton way back when Tim Burton. He made Planet of the Apes, right? He made that Mark Wahlberg version, and at the end of the movie, Mark Wahlberg goes to Washington D.C. He goes to the Lincoln Memorial, and then is how it's revealed. The Lincoln statue has a monkey face on it. Yeah, so that's how he's like, oh, it's Earth all along. How's your mother? And then Kevin Smith jokingly said in an interview he was going to sue Tim Burton because that was the ending to one of his comic books, one of his Clerk comic books before Planet of the Apes came out. And then Tim Burton goes, I didn't know he did that. Why would I waste my time reading a comic book? He directed Batman.
Okay.
What? If you're gonna do it, that's what it reminds me of. It's like, I'm not gonna waste my time with comic books.
Who was this
Batman character?
That was a very long-winded story to compare this to.
Yes, and that's because it's storytelling. So that's what it was all about.
Storytelling, but anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny that he pointed that out. And then just really funny, even to make it funnier, somebody on Twitter posted a quote from the interview where Bob Hoskins had said, I used to play King Lear, famous Shakespeare play, to which somebody responded on Twitter, what system was King Lear on? I thought that was a nice touch. Anyway.
Oh, Bob Hoskins. Did you know he worked with cartoons?
What?
Did you know he worked with cartoons as well?
No, I don't know. I think he thought Roger Rabbit was real.
Anyway,
moving on. We talked at length earlier about the SEGA Genesis Mini 2.
Did we? Okay.
We did. We talked about it coming to North America, but what we did not talk about is it was announced that the SEGA Mega Drive Mini 2 will be coming to Europe. So there will be a PAL version for our friends over in Europe to purchase, which is
there you go.
So,
cool.
Don't know if it's coming out the same date. North America and Japan will be October 27th. Oh, nope. I can confirm it is the same day.
All right,
October 27th for everybody. Everybody's getting the
Mega
Drive Mini 2. Everybody. All right. Moving on. Nintendo's Switch Online expansion pack got a new game this week.
I saw that
last week.
Yes.
Wave Race 64 is now part of the Switch Online expansion pack. What is the face that you're making? That game was awesome.
I was gonna say you had that game, right?
I still have that game. I love that game, and not only that, I love the sequel they did on the GameCube, Wave Race Blue Storm. And I'm sorry they didn't make more beyond that. Wave Race and F-Zero. I don't know why they stopped those after GameCube.
Yeah, F-Zero, certainly.
Yeah,
I wasn't into Wave Race. I look, I'm not saying it's a terrible game. I'm just saying for me, I would prefer something else. But hey,
yeah,
everyone else loves it. So
it's because you were bad at it. Let's just point.
I never owned it. And I might have played it twice at your house.
All right. Well,
that whatever. And that stupid Pilot Wings.
Oh, I loved
Pilot Wings is terrible.
Pilot Wings 64 was great. Sorry. Great.
We will agree to disagree. That was a launch
title. That was a launch game. All right, moving on. Sonic the Hedgehog. We've been talking about Sonic all year because it was his anniversary. He turned 30. It was great. They announced they had previously announced Sonic Prime, a new animated series coming to Netflix. We now have a release date, not a date, but a month. It will be releasing in December of this year.
The Sonic cartoon, Prime. Okay.
The animated series on Netflix, December 2022.
Awesome. Wow, a lot of dates then. Because I don't know if it's in your list. They also announced the release, tentative at this point, for Sonic the Movie 3.
Yes, which would be that, but
I didn't. December of 2024.
2024. Yeah, 2024 is. Yeah, so they're just going all out with Sonic, and rightfully so. Like the two movies they made were great. I really enjoyed them. So.
I love Sonic 2. I think I like Sonic 2 better than Sonic 1. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, go see it. Clearly, the end credits will lead to what Sonic 3 the movie should be about, and I think everyone at this point kind of puts everything together. And as a good friend of ours at the expo said, as he bought a picture for his kid, here's Dark Sonic. I'm like, who?
Ooh.
Dark Sonic. Yeah, Shadow.
He's called Shadow, people. Couple other quick bits of news. Well, not quick. One of them's going to be a little bit longer. But Arcade 1-Up. Arcade 1-Up keeps coming out with
yes, I saw this too. Yeah.
New announcements, but probably the biggest announcement in a very long time because this game is more than deserving of an Arcade 1-Up cabinet. One of the best fighting games of all time. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being made by Arcade 1-Up.
Not the one I thought you were going to mention. I forgot they're doing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So let me rephrase myself.
Yeah, please.
Yes, I haven't heard. I forgot about this, and it is an awesome title.
Yes. And not only that, but the arcade is coming with 8 games.
Wow, they're jamming a lot of them. Okay.
Yeah, so you're getting Marvel Capcom 1, Marvel Capcom 2, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and Marvel Superheroes in War of the Gems, which was their Infinity Gauntlet version.
So basically, all their fighters. That sounds like all their fighters for the most part.
It sounds like all of them. It sounds like all right, but still, absolutely solid. Solid lineup for that arcade.
Isn't the fighters on your cabinet?
I believe no. I have Avengers Galactic Storm.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So this pre-order will go live September 8th. So if you're interested in this one, I know I am interested in that one, but I have no room for it.
Yeah, please tell me
where would I put it.
Exactly.
I mean, the one I got behind me is basically that's it. That's what I have.
And that fit perfect
for one.
And it fits literally perfect.
It fits perfectly. There's no room for anything else.
If you ever want to question,
it slid right in.
If you want to question his Tetris ability, just look at that cabinet.
I am a pro.
Did you have a notice of the other cabinet that they just announced a few days ago?
No, I do not. What did they announce?
NFL Blitz Legends.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Yeah, yes. So which I don't know what the other games are.
It was not hockey, so I didn't pay attention.
Oh no, I don't. Look, Blitz is awesome. Blitz was an awesome game, and I think they kind of redid it from the ground up. But no, Blitz Legend they also announced, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so many tournaments in college because I had it on the PlayStation, so it really wasn't the 3-on. It was 2-on-2.
Yeah, it's 2-on-2.
Because the magical 3-on-3 was on Dreamcast, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And God help you buying it now.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had it.
Yeah, but the cabinet, awesome news.
Yes. All right. Last bit of news, and this one was actually really surprising because I've never heard of this company.
Okay.
But here we go. I think this company is making a play for some establishing their footprint in the video game industry, but. Swedish video game company, and I'm gonna read this one because this one's pretty involved. Swedish video company Embracer Group has acquired multiple companies and IPs for an undisclosed sum. And the companies include, this is very interesting, Tripwire Interactive, who are known for games like Killing Floor, Maneater, Rising Storm.
Mater.
Tuxedo Labs, known for
Okay.
Teardown. Singtrix, which is a vocal processing effects tech company.
Okay.
Tatsujin, which is a Japanese video game studio.
Okay.
Bitwave Games. Geotech, which is a leading game accessory brand.
They sound familiar. Okay.
With buying Tatsujin, they also get Toplin,
Ooh.
which you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Truxton, Snow Brothers,
Yep.
Flying Shark. And the two big ones on my list, they've acquired limited run games.
Really?
Physical distributor, limited run games. They have acquired them. And the biggest news out of it, in my opinion, they've actually secured the rights to the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit's literary works by J.R.R. Tolkien.
Good Lord. How much this is? I mean, what is the Swedish dollar going for nowadays? How are they able to afford all that?
I have no idea, but
limited run.
Yeah, they just went in and scooped up all of these companies. Now, the article I'm reading doesn't indicate if it's for a specific region or if they've just bought the companies outright.
Oh, I got
it. Sounds like they said they've acquired these companies, which makes me think that they've acquired them all outright. So I'm curious to see where this goes. But Embracer.com, they're swinging for the fences in the video game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I'm just curious about the whole literary works with Lord of the Rings. I'm like, does that mean they can do video games, or they just have the rights like to the books? Because it says literary works.
I would imagine if those are all game companies, and they can use limited run to put out Lord of the Ring games, and I'm sure you can get a lot more gameplay style and stories from the book. Even though the movies felt like it was page for page of the book, I'm sure they can flush out a lot more from the literary works. So I think it's all game related, and that's a hell of a collection, though.
That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So a little shake up in the video game industry. And that was my last bit of retro news for this week.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you have any news?
No, I told you about NFL Blitz.
Okay, that was it.
That's all I know.
Thanks for the research.
What? You nailed all of it. So, no, that's a lie. Actually, I do have it's not retro news, but there's going to be an update to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
I saw that. I did not report it because I thought it was current and not retro.
Yeah, well, we're gamer. We both play the game.
I know. We go back and forth. Yes, we do both love Ritual.
It's a new level based on Journey. There you go.
I loved
the game Journey. Yeah, so it's it's like a crossover. It's a whole new level, whole new boss, and I guess a new prize or something.
All right, I'm gonna check that out because I love Bloodstained.
I want to say it drops at the end of the month.
So very, very cool. All right, well then that wraps it up for this week's retro news.
Hey folks, just want to give a quick heads up. We love being interactive. We love communicating with all our fans out there. We want to do something to get you involved with us. Finally, why not? Send in, grab your camera, take a picture of it. If you're watching a movie, if you're watching a TV show, and they just happen to either mention a video game or some sort of nod to a video game, send it on in. It'd be kind of fun to see. Because every now and again, pop culture mixes in with movies, especially old movies and old TV shows. You don't expect it. It's kind of fun to see. So if you ever come across a movie or television show that features some sort of video game real quick, not like the actual movie is the video game, send it on in. You can send it to us via email. And what's the email?
Email at theretrogamers.com.
Or just DM us on any social media platform, and we might feature you in a future segment on the Retro Gamers podcast. All right, so we're going to get ready to wrap this all up here. Before we truly wrap it up, and we've had a couple of big birthdays recently.
We do have some big birthdays this week, and to be honest with you, the birthdays are big enough that they could fill an entire episode. But we have covered these games before, so I don't want you to think that we're slighting these in any way, because there are some heavy hitters in here, and then there are a couple that I found really funny, so I'm going to bring them up. But we got a few 5 retro birthdays I'd like to point out.
Okay.
The first one is brand new to the retro. I would say brand new to retro birthdays. Came out in 2007 on the Xbox 360 and on a Windows platform. It is the 15th retro birthday of BioShock.
Wow, 15.
Yeah.
Holy
BioShock
cow.
is 15 years old and just hitting the retro.
I think so. Yeah.
15 is where we start calling retro. So a happy 15th birthday, retro birthday to BioShock. Moving on to the 25th retro birthday. This is a game I just happened to see on a list for retro birthdays that I need to announce because it just sounds awesome. We are celebrating the 25th retro birthday of the very not well-known Canadian text-based adventure game on DOS known as Mad Cowman and Deep Fried Beef Fat Boy.
Mad Cowman and Deep Fried Beef
Fat Boy.
Oh, Beef Fat. Oh, how could I forget?
Right.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Text-based adventure. As soon as I saw the name, I said, I need to play this game. I don't care.
Move left, Yeah. Move right,
You've come across a moose.
Excuse me, Mr. Moose. Can you move? Thank you.
But Mad Cowman and Deep Fried Beef Fat Boy.
Deep Fried Beef Fat Boy. That's a nice nickname.
It looked like it was a text-based adventure. See, I want graphics with a game called that. Anyway,
it's 25 just years. A maple leaf flying in the background with a meaty God Save the Queen. Not God Save the Queen.
And what is sharing the 25th anniversary date with Mad Cowman and Deep Fried Beef Fat Boy? None other than the Japanese release of the ever iconic Nintendo 64 game GoldenEye.
Wow, 25 years ago.
GoldenEye is 25 years old,
and that's the Japanese one. So that means the American version's got to be not far.
Well, the American version it came a couple of days later, so it was all the same week. So GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. Again, we've talked about that on our show all over the place.
They keep saying it's going to be re-released. I don't know. We'll see.
Re-released and updated, right?
Well, yeah, like graphically and everything, yeah. But put back Pierce Brosnan.
Rumor Daniel Craig may wind up there.
Well, Daniel Craig's in the remake on the Wii.
Oh,
that's already happened. Okay. But I want put back the original. My favorite. Yeah. Again, this is about me. My favorite Bond, Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, you are the only person in the world.
Oh, come on! Those movies are great.
I'm not a Bond fan, so not my thing.
You lose again, Mr. Bond.
Moving on to the 35th anniversary. We're going all the way back to 1987.
Oofa.
And this is another game that just caught my eye while I was researching retro birthdays. It was released in Germany on the Atari ST.
Okay, Guten Tag.
Happy 35th retro birthday to MacPan.
MacPan.
Guess what game that ripped off?
Mega Man?
MacPan.
Oh, MacPan. I'm sorry. Okay.
MacPan.
Yeah, Okay. I gotcha.
Pac-Man.
Yes.
They just switched two of the letters.
Well, Germans. Guten Tag. So
there you go. 1987. And again, another 35th anniversary. I don't know how you can top MacPan, but for some reason, this week in 1987, we got the absolutely super classic, super iconic, best franchise ever, started in 1987 on the NES, 35th retro birthday of the original Legend of Zelda.
Very cool. Wow. 35. You would think they would have done something. You would think there would have been some sort of fanfare.
No, they were too busy with 35th Super Mario Brothers. So we got a Game and Watch out of it.
Yes, some of us got two. I think I see the other one back there.
he's hiding right back there. But yes, happy 35th retro birthday again. I haven't opened either one of them. But what can we honestly say about Legend of Zelda that we haven't said on this show?
Nothing else to say.
Yeah, except yeah, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Built an entire franchise out of it, including one of the best games ever made, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Wow. What?
Yeah, so
No.
happy 35th retro birthday to the Legend of Zelda. And that wraps up our retro birthdays for this week.
All right, awesome. Well, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. Just a couple more things to mention real fast. I got two things to talk about super fast, both involving Kickstarter, actually.
Of course it is.
So
it wouldn't be an episode if you didn't talk about Kickstarter.
We're due to do another Kickstarter roundtable here. So one is, and I got this game from a Kickstarter, so it finally showed up. It's a game. It's a Game Boy game. Gelatinous Humanity Lost.
Ooh, so are you just a little blob?
Literally, yes. That's basically what it is. It's a fun game. It's actually a really cool game on the Game Boy.
Is there a boy involved with the blob?
No, thank God, no, because no.
So this blob doesn't eat jelly beans.
No, I don't need to spend my time. Finally,
I'm not interested.
Realizing that the jelly beans
if the blob doesn't eat jelly beans and morph into something else, I'm not interested. Sorry.
God, I hate that game. No, so Gelatinous Humanity Lost, just a fun Game Boy game. Again, I've been loving these new Game Boy games that indie publishers are putting out. But nice. I want to give a shout out though, especially with Gelatinous Humanity Lost here. For let me see here, created by Stephen Long. So I get the game, and it came in a small box, and we're gonna let that phone ring. And it came with a Kickstarter edition box for this, right? And I'm trying to talk loud because if there's a number or anything, I'm trying to talk over the phone number. So at this point, when the box came in, the Game Boy box was damaged. It was crushed. So I'm like, that stinks. So I'm like, okay, things happen. So I went on, and I got the email, and like, I want to give a shout out to Stephen Long, and there was someone else who I emailed, and forgive me, I don't have their name in front of me, but I emailed them my concern. I sent them pictures, and literally, I'm talking less than 10 minutes later, I got a response. I got a tracking number.
Wow.
For a new box. And they're like, hey, sorry this happened, our apologies and everything. And I wasn't like upset. I mean, look, things happen. Yeah. But it was just so cool how quickly they were able to respond to this and fix the issue. I got the new box. New box now looks wonderful. And, like I said, I just wanted to give a cool shout out to everyone there playing Gelatinous Humanity Lost. And thank you very much for your quick turnaround. When I got the tracking number, I was like, what is this? John Rue, that was the other person I contacted. John Rue over at the Retro Room Games. So very cool. And that's the interaction that any customer wants to see and loves to see. So I want to give a cool shout out with that.
Yeah, no, that's great when that is great when when a company or an indie developer, whoever it is, actually does respond to you. And
that quickly though, it was insane.
Very quick. That's awesome.
And then the final thing I want to mention, which this I literally did before, like earlier this morning is when I found it. It's a Kickstarter I just did. I'm going to share the screen here.
Okay. Oh yes, I had this in Retro News, but I knew you were going to talk about it. So
it's called Rotate, the desktop stand for the Nintendo Switch. And there's still right now the beginning of the video on the Kickstarter campaign, which right now, as of recording, is a little over halfway to their goal. They're looking for $10,000. They got a little over 5,000, but they have 28 days to go, so more than enough time. It's awesome. A stand. It's an individual stand for the Nintendo Switch. It'll hold both the original Switch and the OLED. But what I really like about this, and you can tell by the name, Rotate, T-A-T-E is in capital. You can twist the stand to put it into Tate, or it's actually called Tate or something, mode. So you can play either those old arcade games like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man in their original long view, or more importantly, the shoot 'em ups.
That's awesome.
And it's a stand. Awesome. That's what I love about the table stand. So only $35 to get the stand. And
that's not bad.
The pledges are just, like your typical $1 to support, or you order 1, you order 2, you order 3, or you order 4. That's all there is. There's no fanciness to this.
That's really cool.
Definitely check this out if you can. Again, it's called Rotate, R-O-T-A-T-E.
All right.
the desktop stand for the Nintendo Switch.
Very cool.
That's what I got.
All right. Very cool. A couple things for me really quickly. One is in terms of gaming, because we didn't really talk about what we've been playing lately. I have started to fall back in love with Tetris Effect Connected on my PS4 or
great
5.
game, great music.
Well, great game, great music, but also like, when the workday is really stressful and I'm losing my mind, I'm like, you go into that game and you could just immediately zone out, and you have to play the game with headphones. There's no question about it. You have to play with headphones. It's so like calming, zen, and you're playing Tetris while this is going on. It's like somebody just decided, you know what, we're not going to add like the original Tetris with like the frenetic music and everything like that. Mm-hmm. This is a totally chill Tetris game. You can play it in VR, which is even trippier, by the way.
It is. Yeah, I've done that.
I was like, wow. I was like, I sat there in VR and I'm like, I wonder what I look like on the outside. Because I'm probably like,
yeah, because you don't really do, like, you would think VR Tetris is you are the Tetramino. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Tetroid, whatever it is.
No, it's the world around you, like the celestial world around you that's just reacting to the game as you're playing it. Absolutely beautiful. Also played the multiplayer mode for the first time.
I didn't even know they had a multiplayer mode.
They're multiplayer mode, and they have versus and co-op. And co-op multiplayer mode is phenomenal. It's 3 players against this computer CPU player, AR player. And what happens is everybody's got their own Tetris board. And as you complete lines, eventually you build up to a certain point where then all 3 of your boards fuse together into one giant board, and then all 3 of you are working on a giant board together for a short period of time. And then the number of lines you connect together will then get fed over to the CPU. So the idea is to beat the CPU. It's 3-on-1. It's really, really cool.
Is it online co-op?
Online co-op. So
all right, we gotta try that.
My friend and I tried it. And if you don't have 3 people, the third player can be also AI. So the two of us played it, and no joke, like the first like 15, 20 minutes, we're sitting there, we're like, oh, this is really cool. This is great. And everything like that. And then we both just went silent for like an hour, just totally lost in it, playing. It was unbelievably cool. So been playing a lot of Tetris Effect Connected.
All right, cool.
And actually worth revisiting. And yes, we should play.
I have it on PlayStation. Really cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then the other thing to talk about, I finally got my copy. A friend of mine picked this up for me in June at a I think it was like an anime convention that he went to or something like that. But there was a booth there selling, I guess, some limited run games. They had limited run games. So I got my copy of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2.
Nice.
For PlayStation 4.
Great game.
So, yeah, now I just have to get Curse of the Moon 1 so I can play that first. But limited run. It has a number on it too. Number 3.
They're all numbered. Yeah,
they're all numbered. So is this just like limited run game number 390 that they?
I think that's what I mean. Yeah, no, it's not the 390th copy.
No, I know. Yeah, no, they would not print a different. Yeah, they would. You
never know. They might have in the beginning, till this new company bought them.
Yeah. So anyway, I also didn't realize this is a 2-player game.
That was 2-player.
It says 1 to 2 players.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
I have that on Switch, so we're look on that one.
Players can also create demon hunting duos in 2-player local co-op available for the first time in the
local
series.
Co-op. There you go.
So so Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Yeah, if we're ever together, we should play this.
There you go.
And that's really all I've been doing gaming wise. And I'm still working on South Park because I downloaded the DLC.
New game coming out. New South Park game coming out. No news on who's making it, what it's about, anything like that.
I don't care.
It's happening.
I don't care. The games are awesome. The games are awesome. Looking forward to that.
Did you watch the concert?
No, I did not.
Awesome.
But I heard it was awesome. I heard it was awesome.
All right, so let's wrap this up then.
Actually, happy 25th retro birthday to South Park.
Why not? Yeah, honestly, that's a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, 25 years of South Park.
Ooh, crazy. Ant, where can they find us?
All right, you guys can find us on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast. You can find us on Instagram at RetroGamersPodcast, on Twitter at RetroGamersPod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. And again, if you enjoy us, please leave us a 5-star review or 5-star and a positive review. Always welcome. Thank
Absolutely. You. Also with the YouTube, jam that like button, hit share wherever it is, share, let the world know about us. And again, thank you for everyone who again showed up to the table at the Retro Expo. It was just, it was almost overwhelming for me. And I know if Ant was there, he'd feel the same way. Just to hear the love from people listening to the show, just hearing people listening to the show. And so it's just really cool to witness. So thank you everyone out there in podcast land. Ant, have a wonderful week.
You have a great week as well.
And we will catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.